Oi oi, welcome to the capital of the least visited country in Europe. Welcome back to Chisinau. Welcome back if you've watched us on the main channel before. You know we've been here a few times, but we're here in Chisinau again because we're going to somewhere different in Moldova to film for the main channel, and we've got a couple of days here in the city, a city that we know very well, and we thought we'd bring you along with us for a little walk around the city, share how it's changed over the past couple of years, because quite a bit has changed with it. Some things have stayed the same, which we'll also show you. So yeah, welcome back to sunny Moldova. As we said, some things have changed here in Chisinau, some not so much. And one thing we noticed straight away was that the pavements here in the centre along the main roads have all been relaid, and there's been a lot of landscaping going on. There's a few guys behind there at the moment doing some landscaping, but some things have most definitely stayed the same, including this beauty in front of us right now. And I'm glad this has stayed the same, the symbol of Moldova. I'll show you. And there it is, one of those constants here in the beautiful Hotel Nacional. It was in the 90s, sitting loud and proud over the city. What a beauty.
To be fair, when and if this gorgeousness gets knocked out, I'll be very upset. Very poignant. As soon as you get into the city, this is what you see.
This is actually one of the busiest road junctions here in Chisinau as well. The airport's this way and the main street goes up that way, so this faces out over a very important part of the city. And it's interesting because there's a lot of new buildings going up and a lot of updates to the city centre especially. It's really interesting that they've still left this standing in its current state, that it hasn't been either completely demolished or revamped in some way.
Probably because of the location, it's very expensive to do.
Perhaps there's certain licensing as well. If anyone knows, let us know in the comments. But for now, we can still admire its beauty.
But if you're gonna tell us, oh yeah, it's getting knocked down, just don't.
Don't break Julia's heart.
It's been a traumatic month. You know, enough. I had enough. Don't. Leave the place and then come back after a few years and see it changing for the better. November is known for being the worst month of the year. Terrible weather, depressing, but not here in Moldova. Look at this.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
The trees as well. I took a video earlier actually outside of our Airbnb, outside the window, and I'll put it over the top of here. Really, really beautiful. Everything here is golden brown, and then it just comes off the greyness of the buildings really well. Chisinau, on that note, is incredibly Soviet in the way that it's built, and that's for a very specific reason. During the Second World War, about 70 to 80% of the city was completely destroyed. This was under German occupation from 1941 until late in 44, I think, when the Soviet army, the Red Army, took the city back. And in both of those occasions, when the Germans came across and the Soviet army came back through, a lot of the city was very, very heavily destroyed, meaning a lot of the architecture from before, the Russian Empire architecture and prior to that, was destroyed. And the city had to be rebuilt, which is why these days
it is so gorgeous.
It could be called the most Soviet city in Europe, I think.
I was just about to open my mouth, sorry, and say Bishkek, but then you said Europe. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it definitely rivals Bishkek, I think, for brutalist architecture. You still see little signs of the old Chisinau prior to World War II, but they are very little signs. If we can spot some of those buildings, we'll film them later in this video and share them with you. But what we're going to do now, I think, is head further into the centre, go for a walk, and then maybe grab a coffee and head down to a park. Because one thing they do have a lot of here in Chisinau is a lot of parks and underpasses. So Moldova is the second poorest country in Europe currently, after Ukraine, and quite often here in Chisinau, in the cities, even in the middle of the city, you'll still see old houses like this that are a little bit derelict, old chasniki, and there's even a whole private housing sector, a chasni sector, in the centre, just outside the centre. And actually last night here in the city, because we're at the start of winter, the end of autumn, there was a lot of people obviously burning fuel for their private homes in this chasni sector, and in the very centre it was actually quite polluted, which is something I think we haven't noticed when we've been here before. But it was very similar to what we get in Bishkek, where people are burning fuel for their homes as the weather gets colder, and that then sends a lot of pollution into the valley which the city is built in.
So the air tends to get way worse during the winter. You can see it even like at night, you can see it and smell it a lot.
It's interesting today, the wind's picked up a little bit, the sun's shining, and you can't notice anything, can you?
No, it's really fresh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just last night.
I guess that's the difference with Bishkek as well, because at home it's all just sort of sits there.
Yeah.
There's not much wind and it's just all trapped. But here, there is circulation, which is nice.
As with most former Soviet cities, and Moldova was a former Soviet republic, there's, in the capital city, often you'll find that most people are bilingual. And here in Moldova, it's no different. The majority of Moldovans, their native language is Romanian. Used to be called Moldovan during the Soviet period, but that's another story. Their native language is Romanian, and many other people, other nationalities, their native language is Russian. So here in Chisinau, you'll often hear both languages quite often on the streets. The signs are the majority in Romanian, but you'll often hear both languages on the streets. And in a strange twist of events, since 2022, actually, Chisinau's probably become more Russian speaking than it was before, with the influx of people from just over the border in Ukraine coming here. We're actually only about 100 kilometers from the city of Odessa in Ukraine, and many people that have left the country have just come across the border and now call Chisinau home for the past few years.
I actually filmed a video here in Chisinau 3 years ago. If you want to watch that video, we'll link it in the description box below. And it will be quite interesting to compare what it used to look like even 3 years ago and what it's like now. know why this park reminds me of Serbia. Belgrade, to be specific.
It looks similar. Looks like we're walking down to the Danube, right?
Oh, yeah. So, we noticed this time that Chisinau has a Balkan vibe to it as well. When you walk for certain parts of the city, you're like, oh, it feels Balkan. Kind of like that. Like this, that. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Можно, пожалуйста, 2 большие бутылки воды?
Спасибо.
Спасибо.
Все, спасибо. You know, Moldova is one of those really interesting countries. It's quite small. In fact, it's very small. And the population of Moldova right now is maybe 2 million. But there's lots of different regions to it, and it's also very varied in language, people's political directions, the way they want to live their lives. We're on that kind of fault line, borderline at the moment in Europe. And you've obviously got Transnistria here that we've shown before on the main channel. But you've also got other regions of Moldova that are very different to the capital Chisinau. Balti in the north, Gagauzia in the south. But it's fascinating sitting here thinking we're in such a small country that has such varied ways of life and varied people. There's so much to see just in Moldova itself and try and understand. I love it. As a traveller, it makes it very, very interesting. So you can still find older buildings here in Chisinau, like this one, from the Russian Empire period, as far as I understand. You've got the old doors here as well, look at this. Pisma. So I see old letterboxes. Beautiful. This part of town in general, we're kind of south of the main street, has a lot more older buildings. Love it. It is.
If you're ever in Chisinau and really fancy something traditional Moldovan food, just head to Andy's Pizza.
It's a place. It's our go-to every time we're here. There's like 20 over Chisinau.
Open the open door for me.
You're welcome, yeah. I'll let you guess whose is whose.
And both are mine.
Go on, Andy.
This has been our crib for the past couple of nights here in Moldova. Check this out. Here we have our kitchen and even a tiny balcony. Beautiful view. This has been alright.
It's been great. 30 quid a night.
Comfy bed. Let's show you the bathroom. And in our family, this is where the magic happens. Yeah, it's been great. But now it's time to leave.